people don't need to see me, I don't know, out in a casino at 3 in the morning in Australia, mate. You are going to sacrifice a lot of normal stuff. And like, if they're going to judge me based on something she says or does, then that's sort of their problem, to be honest. And you know, we are just ordinary people trying to do something extraordinary. Everyone's got to go to the dentist. Again, it's all about finding balance, I think. So.
You touched upon it a bit a little while ago about how everyone's got an interest in like your family, your girlfriend, just your private life. How do you cope with that? Do you make sure that you only put a certain amount online? Do you kind of censor what you put out there, or do you just live your life and deal with it?
Again, I censor it within a certain sort of level, you know, like I don't try and, I always say to like, especially when I'm out with my friends, if I feel like, you know, people don't need to see me, I don't know, out in a casino at 3 in the morning in Australia, maybe they don't need to see that, so don't put it online, sort of thing. But that's sort of, you know, that's sort of a silly side of things. But I guess with something like my girlfriend, like I just try and encourage her to be exactly who it is that she wants to be and do what she wants to do, because she shouldn't be having to withhold anything that her friends get to do or say or whatever, just because she's worried that she's inadvertently, vicariously sort of living through me, if that makes sense. Like if people are going to judge me based on something she says or does, then that's sort of their problem, to be honest. And I think every human has their own right to sort of be their own person. So I always try and encourage her not to let any sort of you, me at 6 sort of stigma, if it were, to like sort of stop her from doing something. But I think at the same time, like, you know, end of the day, like I made that choice to make my relationship public. If I wanted to, I could have pretended I didn't have a girlfriend, but you know, I'm proud of the girlfriend I have and I love her, and I want to, you know, if I want to show her off, I want to show her off, sort of thing. So I don't really feel like, again, going back to just trying to have some sort of normality, because I always find that something that I've heard a few times that a few guys in bands have said, which I really agree with, is that we're just, it does sound kind of cringy, but it really does sort of hit the nail, is that like, you know, we are just ordinary people trying to do something extraordinary, and for the most part of the year, we are, especially if you're off cycle, you're a very ordinary person, you know. Everybody goes to Tesco Express, everybody goes to, you know, everyone goes to the local pub, everybody has to get on the train or
dentist.
Everyone's got to go to the dentist. I went to the dentist the first time for like 3 years the other day. I was horrified by the reports they gave me.
Me too, I just had to spend 280 quid, so.
Yeah, I've got a bill pretty similar, which I wasn't happy with, but yeah, it's sort of like, you know, and so it's weird because you get thrown into these crazy situations where, like, you know, you're playing the O2 Arena or you're playing Reading Festival or something insane, and for that, you know, let's say 12-hour period, as long as you're there and you've got your sort of your pass on and you're on stage or whatever, you are quote unquote a rock star for that little period of time. And then you also have to find a way of like enjoying those highs and reveling those highs because they're incredible, but then also not trying to bring that into your personal life, because I think the two are kind of separate. Yeah. And so going back to when you were saying about, you know, do I sense stuff, again, ultimately I try not to, because I think the two entities are quite separate, although there is a crossover. My life, my family, my friends, my girlfriend is different to the life I have on the road or when I'm in band mode. And yeah, I think it is important just to have that sort of separation, but also at the same time, I think it's good. Those social media platforms sort of give you a platform to show a side of you that your music may not show, which I think is also important as well, because everybody likes to have, especially in this sort of day and age, I feel that it's just as important to have a great song and a great record or even a great image of a band as it is for the people who listen to the songs to be able to know what kind of person you are, because it's just another thing that allows them to get an attachment to you and your music. So it's a necessary evil in a way, but if you use it in the right way and you don't mind people having their opinion because you're putting it out there, then it can be a really great sort of exposure, I'm sure.
Now, talking about the downtime and the separation from being band Josh, can you ever kind of completely switch off? Because I've been around people in bands, they're always on WhatsApp having conversations with other band members and management about upcoming things. So even in the downtime, it's not really properly downtime. So
no, I was moaning about this the other day actually, because we're, especially where we're at the moment, we're sort of trying to figure out what our next move is and how we want to do it. And it's like trying to organise like downtime, and then you're on downtime and you get a phone call from your manager, or you're, as you said, like you'll be in contact with the other boys, or there's always stuff to do. And I think that is part and parcel of the deal that we made when we decided to be in music, and not just in a band, but sort of to try and make it in the music industry, if that's, you know, the way people want to refer to it, I guess. But like, you know, you sort of make a deal that you are going to sacrifice a lot of normal stuff, and like there's lots of times where I turn my phone off completely and just sort of switch off for days, and that's important as well. But I think it's down to the individual to find that balance, and also it's important to find that balance for the people around you, because otherwise there's no point having time off and being at home if you're not actually there.
If you're not present.
Yeah, you might be there, but if you're not really there, then you're sort of doing a bit of a disservice to them as well. So it's important just to find that balance, I think.
Has it taken you a while to get to that point where you've worked out how to juggle everything, or are you still...
No, I still have moments where I'm literally about to go out for dinner, or go out and see friends, or go out with my girlfriend and her friends, or whatever it might be, and I'll be like, oh, just give me 10 minutes, I've got to do a conference call really quickly with somebody in Australia, and it's just like, it's 8 o'clock at night, like, sure, that's the end of the day by now, but it's just what it is. So yeah. I think, and again, I think that's why it's when you're doing, I mean, I know what it's like from our side. I don't really know what it's like even from the side of people like, you know, Taylor Swift and like actual pop stars and actual sort of people who it seems like on the surface every single day of the week is busy working on their music, whether it be touring or promotion or whatever. So I don't really know how they have a normal life, but I know I feel busy and stretched sometimes, so God knows how they feel. So it's kind of, we try and put it in context, and it's not really that bad, but yeah, again, it's all about finding balance, I think. So it's something I'm trying to like balance and get used to, but even on Christmas Eve or Boxing Day, or, you know, New Year's Eve and stuff like that, or moments where it should just be all about other stuff, I'm always thinking, oh, we've got to do that next week and that happened, you know. And I guess maybe that's has gone hand in hand with why we've been successful, because there's always people in our band that are within our team that we all work in different ways, but we always seem to try and work towards the same goal. And I think no great sort of team can be led by just one person, and I think usually when you look at bands who are or artists where there's just one person trying to do it, even like solo artists, it won't just be all them. There'll be a great big massive team around them trying to pile on ideas. And I don't think people who are successful can necessarily switch off properly. But again, I guess it's about finding a balance that at least on the surface it seems like you're in the room. You know, even if you may not be, that you've got to find ways of dealing with it. But yeah, I don't know.